We have a group that the core of their app is actually solving a really tough problem that I thought would be really easy to solve, and like totally wasn't. They ended up trying like a ton of different libraries, and finally, like, I don't want to say at the midnight hour, but after sort of looking at Quill and Slate and Draft and like every editor you can imagine, they ended up writing their own, which is usually a cautionary tale, but in this case, like it worked out super great because they're brilliant. So here is Coquill.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Christina Ng, and I had the pleasure of working with some amazing women, Eleni Arvanitis, Samantha Zhang, and Guang Zhu. We're the team behind Coquill, a collaborative text editor specifically formatted for screenplays. We came up with the idea because we personally knew some screenwriters who were frustrated with using Google Docs as a collaboration tool and didn't have any available options that combined real-time collaboration and the auto-formatting feature of a screenplay editor. So we decided this project would be great with and would have some exciting challenges, which Guang will tell you about now.
One of our biggest challenges was designing data flow for the purpose of real-time editing. We struggled with choosing data structures we wanted for our database in order for a user's action to travel from a local Redux store and cycle through Firebase. So that text data is stored in a flattish structure, the local state is a tree-like ordered map. The tree leaves grow like this. For example, a screenplay might have more than 50 rendered text blocks. The state has a potentially fixed amount of child nodes, actions, dialogue, and such. Our team workflow is all vertical, so anything that happens on the front end needs to simultaneously parse from Firebase into our local Redux store with immutable data collections. Because of this data flow, we spent lots of time immersed in functional programming and figuring out when and where to dispatch or listen to data changes accordingly. I hand to Eleni to talk about more challenges.
Thanks, Guang. One challenge, as Ashi also mentioned, was that we had to write our own text editor from scratch after already having mastered Quill.js. Because of this, we also had to write our own Delta functions that pushed storage objects to our database. As you can see, just to walk you quickly through the user flow, on the top of the page, we have buttons which represent various types of parts of a screenplay. When you click a button, then you will get the new line and you can automatically type with the formatting automatically applied. While Guang was talking, you might have noticed that the text editor went from a character line to a dialogue line, which happened just with the click of your enter button. We wanted to implement this predictive feature just so our users would constantly be able to type without having to remove their fingers from the keys. We learned all of this together as a team, and it was all very cool because we implemented collaborative editing, and it was the main feature of our app. To talk about some things that we'd like to do in the future, I'm going to pass it over to Sam.
Thanks, Eleni. We had a lot of fun working on this project, and we're really proud of everything that we've achieved. Our next step would be to implement a feature that shows user presence at the top of the page so that users can see who is currently looking at or editing the screenplay, as well as color-coded cursors so that you can easily see who is making the change. Since our deltas are already stored in the Firebase database, we'd also like to incorporate version tracking so that users can go back through the history of their revisions and revert back to a version that they may have liked better. To make our screenplay editor more viable as an industry tool, in the future we're planning to implement public liking or voting so that other screenwriters and industry professionals can notice popular screenplays. And finally, we like to allow for exporting to PDF and any other useful formats. To start writing with our screenplay editor, check us out at coquill-e599a.firebaseapp.com and check out our code on GitHub if you have any feedback. Thanks for watching.
So to vote for Coquill,
Nice.
click on that over there, the like button. But yeah, overall, I mean, I really like editor projects because they look deceptively simple and
It's
they're
so
actually
hard to
so
Yeah.
edit
hard.
text.
And yeah, and it's I always really respect the final product because you know it takes a lot of work before it even looks like usable, and then you know this has so many other features on top of it. I find the sentiment analysis kind of interesting. I'm kind of I have some screenplays in mind that I've been thinking about that
Threat level midnight.
threat level midnight. Let's say office inside.
So Michael's got office pun. But
Yeah.
you know, one thing I like about that project is that they, I think you know it's like one thing that about programming is oftentimes you think something will be super easy, like as much as just what I'm seeing on my screen and what's you're seeing on your screen, and like to get that working as a programmer, you have to like pretty much implement you know operational transform or something crazy to make something simple that people might not even appreciate, right? So like Google, I remember when Google Sheets came out, programmers were like, wow, and I remember people in my life who weren't technical, they were like, yeah, I can look at your paper, you can look at my paper. It's like obvious, right? So
Well, I mean, or like Excel users were like,
Yeah.
this is terrible.
yeah,
And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.